Yeah, I mean, hey, people are different. Especially in arts. Arts is not a static thing. It can be right or wrong. Just it depends. One person, I'll make a logo or I'll do a photograph, I'll make a video. One person will say, "Oh my god, this is dope. This is amazing," and then another person will be like, "Yeah, I don't like it."
I'm actually glad you brought that up. I was gonna ask you this later, but since you just brought it up, I'll ask you now. So yeah, it's said art is subjective, which I agree with, but at the same time I'm gonna contradict myself. So I think it is subjective, but there's some stuff that I see. I'm like, is there really anyone that thinks this is art or thinks this is good or whatever? So for example, this was done as a joke. This was like a year. It was sometime back. You know, like Lakma, that
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
because that one they just have like in the like objects or stuff, right? Like on the
yeah.
okay. So this person was, I think, was being satirical about it. They put like a banana peel. They did something silly. Like it
I think
wasn't.
I've seen it
Yeah,
on social media.
yeah. So they
Yeah.
did something silly like that. Put it down, and then like I think they started pretending like, oh, what is this? And then all of a sudden a crowd gathers and people are legitimately looking at this thing like, oh, is this thing? Is there certain stuff where it's like, no, dude, that's not art. You just went, or is seriously nope? It doesn't
Look,
matter. It might be for someone.
I think it's combination of art and a very good manipulative storytelling.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say it's manipulative, not in a negative way. I mean, it's a skill. It's a form of art to sell your art. That's not really art. It's just a banana on the wall, you know. It's just it depends on what kind of story you wrap around it.
Hmm.
Same with design, you know. Yeah, a red logo might not be a good idea for a bank, but if you know how to sell, if you can convince that red works, then it works. Yes, color psychology, yeah, it's a thing. We learned it. But what if not always, you know? I think everything in life is kind of like that.
How big is that color cycle? How effective, I should say, is color psychology, do you
Well,
think? Or is it like by person basis?
no, there's actually psychology study done on color. Interior cultures, like I don't know, in one of the Middle Eastern cultures, you are not, like they cannot have any green on the floors. They cannot walk on green because green is the color of their god.
Hmm.
So you can't step on God's color.
Hmm.
So a lot of interior designers need to know this. What if you're an interior designer, you get hired by this Middle Eastern person to go design their mansion, you cannot put green carpets. So there is a cultural meaning behind it, there is the psychology behind it, and then there's the color study, like visual.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay, shit show.
yeah, there's a that's the thing. That's part of why I wanted to bring you on because I have little to not little. I have no knowledge in this space. So part of it is like I kind of want to get an idea of how it works
I
and
mean,
how like
to
all
me
of that is
personally,
very fascinating to me.
very
That there's
fascinating.
this level of that there's that amount of stuff that is thought
Right.
about in all this
I'm
is pretty
personally
crazy.
fascinated by the psychology aspect of it. Colors do actually, but according to psychologists, they do trigger some things in your brain. They say you can't have bright yellow in kids' bedroom because they become super hyper and they have hard time sleeping. So could be right.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
if
know.
there's like enough evidence that supports that,
Yeah.
the only one of pertaining to color that I've heard is the yellow and red regarding fast food. That's why I
Yeah.
see In and
Yeah.
Out, McDonald's are the two that I can think of off the top of
And
my
blue
head.
and purple are like they convey trust. That's why banks are mostly blue.
Hmm. Chase, Citibank,
Yeah.
Bank of America has some blue in there.
Oh,
Interesting.
Wells Fargo is
Entirely red.
entirely
What's
red.
red's thing? Red is the only food?
Red
Hunger?
is caution, like caution. Obviously, that's the sign. It triggers like intense feelings because
Hmm.
it's so intense.
I guess that does make sense for Wells Fargo given
Know.
given
Always on your toes.
some of their transgressions.